Yakuza is a deeply narrative-driven experience presenting a grounded and unflinching crime drama that explores the weight of honor, the meaning of loyalty, and the consequences of betrayal.
Aside from all that serious crime and drama stuff, the Yakuza series is honestly one of the games that made me into video games. Because tell me where else you can go from a super intense, emotional cutscene about murder, about betrayal, to suddenly doing karaoke like your life depends on it. The tonal shift is crazy. 1 second it's this is cinema, and the next is why am I dancing in a disco at 2 a.m. Somehow it just works. The mix of deadly serious storytelling and absolute nonsense side activities is what makes it so fun. It feels random but somehow it doesn't seem disconnected. I always appreciate the absurd minigames after some heavy drama story. RGG, the studio behind that game, is one of the very few studio that I really liked. You don't want to know how many times I glazed over that studio. For the past few years, they released bangers after bangers, and dude, I always played their games day one and never regretted playing them. But now, let's talk about Yakuza Kiwami 3. So, Kiwami 3 is basically a remake for Yakuza 3, you know, one of the least favorite Yakuza games, and yeah, if you ask me what I think about that game, it's bad. Aside from enemies mindlessly blocking your move every time, the pacing is so damn slow. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like some games with slow pacing stories, if they are done right, like the first chapter of Red Dead Redemption 2, because it makes the story and the ending impactful. But with Yakuza 3, it's just slow and boring. It makes me want to finish the game quickly. Here, I want to talk about what Yakuza Kiwami 3 tried to improve and what they could have done better. So, first let's talk about the combat system. In the OG Yakuza 3, the combat feels clunky. I mean, of course it's a PS3 game, what do I expect, but I mean there's a lot of game on the PS3 where the combat system feels smooth at the time. And of course, we don't talk about Yakuza 3 without talking about Yakuza, you know, where the enemies block your attack all the time. I mean, I do like when the enemy AI is more challenging, but blocking your attack mindlessly just makes it frustrating. In Kiwami 3, your movements are more fluid. Enemies won't block you like they were Tekken characters. Sure, enemies still block, but it doesn't feel like they're reading your control inputs and punishing you for existing. This time you've got two styles, Dragon of Dojima style and the Ryukyu style. And honestly, I ended up using a Ryukyu style way more. It just feels fresh, it's faster, it's more fun, and there are so many combo strings you can mess around with. You can just keep pressing buttons and it actually feels satisfying. I actually lost count of how many times I picked Ryukyu style over Dragon of Dojima. Not saying that the Dragon style is bad or whatsoever, it's classic for sure, but Ryukyu style just hits different. It's new, it's flashy, and it made fights way more fun for me. Second of all, I actually kinda like the pacing here, at least for the first 3 chapters. It doesn't feel rushed at all, but maybe that's just because I keep getting distracted by side activities every 5 minutes. Main story, yeah, I'll get there eventually. The Bad Boy Dragon is the first side activity that was unlocked, and not gonna lie, I had way too much fun with it. It's just fun seeing Kiryu as a gang leader. Morning Glory is pretty much a management simulator where Kiryu becomes full-time dad. Instead of beating up a bunch of random dudes, you're doing cooking, gardening, and even helping with homework. Yes, homework. The Dragon of Dojima out here making sure your math assignments are submitted on time. And the more you do these activities, the more your daddy rank goes up. What makes it even better is that each kid has their own little storyline. So the more you bond with them, the more heartwarming scenes you unlock. And this is honestly what I wish the OG Yakuza 3 leaned into more. Instead of running around the map, trying to find one specific kid just to push the main story forward, this version makes it optional. And somehow that makes it way better, because now I want to do it. I'm not doing it because the story is forcing me to, I'm doing it because I actually care. The freedom just makes everything more fun. Did I forget to mention something? Oh yeah. It's basically Aloha Link, but instead of pressing only the X button, you're using your flip phone to befriend NPCs, and it fits. The mid-2000s was prime flip phone era. Everyone had one, right? Everyone was customizing ringtones, so adding a little social link system through a phone actually makes sense. And lastly, Dark Ties. Let's be real. A lot of people who picked up Yakuza Kiwami 3 probably had one thought in mind. Yeah, main story cool, but where's Dark Ties? So Dark Ties is basically a mini expansion where you get to play as Mine. Yes, that Mine. Spoiler alert, the main antagonist from Yakuza 3.
No, there's no change in the plan.
Instead of just seeing him as the bad guy, you actually get to understand why he did, what pushed him, what he was thinking. It actually adds layers to his character that weren't fully explored before. And let's be honest, there's always something fun about playing the antagonist. Alright, we've hyped it up enough. We talk about the good stuff, the fun side content, the cool combat, but now we get into the real talk. Alright, now let's talk about what I don't like. First of all, the lighting. Bro, why is it either surface of the sun or pitch black dungeon with no flashlight? There is no in between. In this game, some areas are so bright and saturated it feels like someone cranked the contrast to 1000% and said, "Yeah, that's perfect." What do you mean?
Huh?
Kiryu's skin is glowing, the streets are glowing, I'm glowing. But then nighttime hits and suddenly I can't see anything. It's so dark, it was like they forgot to pay the electricity bill. What am I supposed to see? I get that they're trying to make Okinawa look vibrant and dramatic, but sometimes it feels like my eyes are about to burn. And about the combat system, yeah, I said it's smoother and it feels like better than the OG Yakuza 3, and that's true. But when you compare it to the newer entries, especially stuff like Judgment or even the later series, it starts to feel a bit simplified. The skill tree is where it really shows. It's super basic, and the funniest part, you're unlocking moveset that feel like they should have been there from the start. Wait, I was unable to do that in the first place. It low-key feels like they took Kiryu's basic moveset, removed half of it, and then say, "Don't worry, you can earn it back." Like what? I'm out here grinding experience just to regain movements that Kiryu has probably known since 2005. It's not terrible by any means, it still works, but compared to the flashier, deeper system in later games, this one feels a little stripped down. And lastly, we need to talk about the subs stories. Why are we trimming them down? This is the mainline series, right? Not a spin-off. Classic Yakuza games usually have, around 60 sub-stories. That's half the fun. But now we're sitting at around, 30, 31? Sub-stories are the soul of Yakuza. That's where the weird stuff happens, so cutting them down, it feels a little bit disappointing. Sure, the main story is still there, the big drama is still happening, but the chaotic, how did I even get into this situation energy feels a bit lighter this time. At the end of the day, Yakuza Kiwami 3 is still a fun ride. It's smoother than the OG, packed with charming side content, and somehow lets you switch between crime drama and that simulator without blinking. Yeah, the combat feels a bit simplified. The lighting is way brighter than my future apparently, but even with those flaws, it still has that classic Yakuza charm. It's not perfect, but it's still Kiryu. And you know what? That's enough to keep me playing. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. See ya!